Good morning. Right now, on my way to New York to have perhaps the greatest seafood feast of my life. Let me explain. Over the last year, I've been working on a couple of projects outside of YouTube, and one of them is a ramen restaurant in New York and a Korean barbecue down in Houston, Texas. Both of these are slated to open by early next year. And I'm going to New York because we're finally ready to have a tasting of the seafood menu items at Carne, the Korean barbecue place we're opening up in Houston. And we're pairing the seafood with sake like we're doing at the restaurants because sake contains amino acids called umami constituents that really highlights the flavor of the seafood. Also, sake contains very little iron, which is good because iron with seafood makes the seafood even seafoodier, fishier. Anyway, that's why we're pairing the seafood up with sake. We're also gonna have a wine pairing there as a comparison. Then I figured, what better way to see if our seafood is tasty and our pairing works than to have two of my favorite food personalities join me for this meal. So this meal, $3,000 worth of seafood, sake and wine pairing, two amazing foodies to share with. This is gonna be one of my favorite meals of all time. I'm so happy right now to have. I enjoyed our last meal so incredibly much, just having a conversation with you. If you guys never seen that video, it's on Eat with Mikey.
Pot Fantasia.
Absolutely. And then Andrew, been watching your show forever.
No,
absolutely
back
amazing.
at both of you.
Dude, no.
You guys are my food idols. Thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you for coming. You guys saw the seafood that was sitting here.
It's insane. It's the entire cast of Little Mermaid. It's all of them. We are eating Sebastian later.
Do you feel like Poseidon sitting here just like...
I definitely feel like the bad guy in like Aquaman, like ah ha ha ha.
So, and we're also pairing this with wine and sake. And since I don't drink, you guys are going to really help me with this because this is how this meal is.
We got you, Mike.
I've never been asked to be somebody's drinking proxy before. Perfectly happy to do so. Just anybody, if you ever need me to come through and drink for you, I guess.
Yeah.
My guidance counselor never told me about that job, and if only I had known.
All right, first dish, Kumamoto oysters, fresh horseradish inside, a little bit of ginger. Go ahead, guys.
I'll grab this little guy here because
Thank you.
it's a little early in the day. Grab some of this.
This is my first time having raw oysters, and like, I'm getting a look here.
Well, no, because like you are like the explorer. You're the Indiana Jones.
I don't eat a lot of raw oysters because the last time I had it, it just tastes like the ocean spit in my mouth.
Yeah, and that's the idea.
That's the idea?
You know that Bourdain always said that it was the oyster was the thing that actually was his gateway into food exploration.
Really?
It was in every way that it was strange, in every way that it was weird and wonderful and stuff like that. And also the dope thing about Kumamoto's, because they toss them, they have like a super deep cup.
Yeah.
Compared to like a Wellfleet, which is more flat, so they can catch that brine and they get a little fatter.
Dude, you should have a show on TV.
Yeah.
I really should, Travel Channel.
All right, cheers, guys. All right.
No shell there. No, that's just a nice, sweet, clean oyster.
Kind of minerally.
Yeah.
You know what? Second bite's not bad.
And also, I have to say that there's something about lemon with seafood that it brightens it up. And so when you put salt on avocado, it's like an inert flavor, and then you have something for it to work against. That I think lemon and seafood, it sort of like enhances the flavor that was initially there.
And that wasn't like as gooey as I formerly remember. Like before, I remember like I'm thinking like eating an oyster is like eating kind of like a ghost.
Bad oyster.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That was actually there was some chew to that.
Yeah.
So I enjoy when I can actually chew something in my mouth.
Junmai Daginjo, so the Semi Boy is, they've polished the rice grain down, so the gluten is gone, so it's just the rice protein that remains, so it's the purest. It's only separated.
You know a lot about sake.
I do.
He knows a lot about everything.
I'm kind of Japanese. I work, my only formal training is sushi, but yeah, I've worked in a lot of Japanese restaurants, but it's the purest. It's only separated on a molecular level from water by a couple molecules.
I think with my sugar cane water,
I
it
was
great.
not expecting that.
What about you?
Wasn't expecting that to be carbonated. It's very refreshing. It's light. It's not going to overpower very delicate flavors here.
Okay, so this is fried oyster salad with horseradish aioli and cured egg. sprinkled on top.
Well, no, this is like salted egg, yeah?
Yeah, salted egg.
That was, can I tell you, one of my favorite flavors in Southeast Asia?
Salted egg.
I literally didn't know salted egg existed
Oh,
until
so good.
That needs to be in your life.
It's like
Yeah,
like
let's
a
scoop up
drier
some of it here.
gravy. Oh, magic.
All right. Oh, that's great. I love this. That is just so crispy.
This was an aioli here. What was this?
Yeah. It's horseradish aioli.
That was perfect. Just a little bit of sharpness.
Yeah. What do you think? First time salted egg experience.
So good. It's like umami flavor, right? It's just like this rich.
Yeah. It gets richer and the yolk gets creamier, and it's just like when you break it down, it's just got that rich, deep flavor. The egg. You didn't think egg could taste like that.
We're one course deep, and I'm already learning so much. I've not heard of so many of these things.
Next video on your show, salted egg.
I mean, I just think that it's kind of like when you have it like in this kind of creamy substrate, it's like tahina. It's got that sort of almost drying quality to it, but it has that deep, funky umami. I love it.
All right, so I guess we're pairing this with the wine.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, hey man. Wow. It almost brought up more brine. It's crazy.
Random question for you guys. Favorite country for food?
Go.
Oh man. You
I
go first.
I should not go first because you are so well traveled. I've not even been to Southeast Asia or anything like that. I just got back from France, so that's going to have to be my go-to because I'm basic like that. But I mean,
That's a great
great
place.
no, of course. But just like the simplest things get so elevated there. The bread and butter, and you know the simple country dishes, the stuff that take tough and unpalatable things and slowly, gently break them down into something beautiful. Like that's my dream. But I have not yet been to an entire quadrant of the world that has
should
so
go.
many flavors that I'm just not.
You're gonna get a lot of salted egg.
Yet.
You will.
I'll be looking for it.
What about you?
I'll do like a top three because I can't really discern. And one just cracked the top three because normally I would be like, okay, Japan and Italy are like deeply neck and neck. But I just took my mom on a surprise trip to Israel last month, and I was floored. I really was. I think that the produce alone, I had a date that was very much like a plum. You know, we get dates kind of desiccated and they look like raisins. This thing was plump. I mean, to bite into that alone, let alone tahina that there was 1,700-year-old stones that was slow grinding Ethiopian sesame seeds, and I mean, Rome is pretty spectacular. When you consider like cacio e pepe is like this breathtaking dish made with the two titular ingredients, and it's just technique driven. And Japan, the thing is, maybe it's perhaps that cultural sort of like mandate of like execution and perfection, but you can get like a tonkatsu sando, like a fried pork chop sandwich on the train.
Yes.
And it is exquisite. There's a spot by the ferry to Miyajima called Ueno, and they're known for anagomeshi, which is like broiled eel on rice. And I was just thinking, like, this is nothing here, and you could take this dish and put it into Midtown Manhattan and charge $40, $50 for it. And so I would say Israel, Italy, and Japan, I just think really have taken my breath away.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like my top two, anyway, is Japan and Singapore, and the top three would be China, Japan, and Singapore. Like I've joked about this, and I've thought about this. People can literally go buy instant noodles in Japan, bring it here, and like open a ramen shop and serve it. I guarantee you 90% of people would just be like, this is just amazing ramen noodles. It's that like they put so much care into details and the flavor, like anything there is exquisite. It's the only culture where they're like, you know what, your melons are not good enough for us. We're gonna invent our own melons and then charge you $150 for it. And people are like, we happily pay for that. Because that's the most exquisite melon I've ever had in my life.
You guys have just set my travel itinerary for the last 7 years. So
Yeah,
thank you very much.
you need to go to
Appreciate it.
Japan and Singapore.
Sake is actually, to give it to Richman, it's 55% polished, and it's made in a very traditional way. It's gonna have a lot of umami. And the second wine is a Vouvray from the Loire Valley of France, and it's also, you know, a Vouvray type of grape.
Second course, we have a prosciutto with tuna and then caviar on top. And it's complex looking.
You won't hear me complain about this.
Yeah.
This is
Bruschetta, yeah,
Right in my
seriously.
wheelhouse.
Jardiniere, tuna, sturgeon, caviar, and then what is the streak on the bottom? I'm about to say it's got to be
Ooh,
balsamic.
Aged balsamic, for sure.
Okay.
Is it weird if I take a bite of this and lick my plate?
Let's just do it together, man. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
then it's not weird if we all do it.
Oh my god. I'm so happy with this right now. I love the vinegar, the aged balsamic. That's just like the essence of this whole thing.
Oh wow, that is lovely.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then just the opposite, we got a richness cutting through the brine and the acidity of what's going on here.
Wow. It's like the whole dish is like contrast Ahoy, right? Like super crunchy bruschetta, and then everything else is really tender.
You guys will tell me if I have food in my beard, right? All right.
One thing that I will say is like these pairings kind of do what pairings are supposed to do, where it's not just accompany it, but it brings out other things in that which you've already eaten. The sake especially. Because normally like caviar could just go fishy or salty and like there endeth the lesson. And then you take something like this, like that umami hit, that bright, crisp sort of note.
I'm excited about this. Like this is a hefty dish.
This is a
Lift
this-
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, it's dense.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a dying star.
Oh yeah, noodles,
Density
pasta,
to it.
3 different types of cheese, tiger shrimp. Dude, this is what I think about when I dream of seafood at night. I need something a little more substantial. I like a little heaviness when I'm eating some sort of seafood.
Yeah, of course.
Gotta be honest, cheese and seafood is a relatively new concept for me.
Same.
And so I'm very curious to see
I'm gonna
how,
be the guy taking a photo.
well,
and I'm
me
gonna
too,
fully
with my
cop
time.
to it because it's so
especially
pretty.
because I'm gonna take a picture of you taking a picture of your food. Sorry.
Jumai ginjo is 55% also polished, but it's prepared slightly different, so it's a little more crisp, and then it will pair really well with a creamy sauce. And the second wine is a Chablis, so it's a Chardonnay from France, Norwegian Chablis. And Chablis and wine, usually cream sauce pairs really well.
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna back Babish on this one too. So like I like a good shrimp parmesan every so often, but clams and cheese I've never ever had. In any I mean maybe a little bit of parma like
Yeah.
you know, linguine with white clam sauce, but never like
If you go
Melted
to Asia,
cheese. Yeah.
it's lobster with cheese. It's all sorts of seafood with cheese. You ever had a grilled lobster with cheese all melted on top of that?
I've had like the thermidor, like lots of like cream sauce and stuff.
And this is like a layer of cheese resting on top. They cut the lobster in half, just a layer of cheese resting on top of it.
That sounds
It's
bananas.
amazing.
Okay.
And certain buffets, you get all you can
Do
eat.
you have to just kind of like eat that on the toilet, like?
Oh no, dude, that's not coming out of your system for weeks. But
Yeah, about to say,
but you don't want it to. It's so good. You don't want it to leave your body. I'm really
incredible.
excited about this.
This is incredible, and I'm an angel hair sucker. Although this isn't. This was linguine.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that is so creamy and nice.
That is like the essence of cream sauce right there.
I love this. You can taste a little bit of the. I think there's some wine in here too. They cooked it with some wine or sake or whatever.
I have to give the chef credit though. Like a lot of the dishes that otherwise might be heavy and devoid of nuance, like the fried oysters or even this, I actually do have a little bit of level. It could easily just kind of go when you're with us, your family vibes, like unlimited breadsticks, and there's like nuance in the cream sauce.
Do you know I have an Olive Garden tattoo?
You better stop.
Ready? Unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Please get a shot of that. That is the greatest thing ever. Knuckle it up. I'm friends with Fat Jewish, and I thought his PK chicken fry tattoo was pretty good. Oh man, that's phenomenal.
That's how I got through college.
What is the height of your frugality? Like, what is the thing that you like?
My parents used to make my underwear. They wouldn't buy it.
How do you make underwear?
You can make underwear from like many things.
They stitch it?
So my mom used to just make my underwear. So like when I was in gym class, people used to
She
make
knitted
fun of
it
me
like a
because they're like,
scarf?
"Look at Mike's underwear." Well, they didn't call me Mike; they call me Shane, my Chinese name. Like, look at Shane's underwear. I used to get teased for that. Like it would literally look like one of those
scarf?
ancient animes. Like where some Japanese guy with his loincloth. It'd be like that, except for my buttocks is not revealed. You know, it's kind of like that.
And this was in the Midwest.
This is
And what did they make it out of?
She made it out of, I don't know, found some cloth or some old t-shirts or something, and she made it.
Can I just say, I mean, obviously you knew I was a fan of yours because I slid into his DMs, mostly because of the homemade underwear.
Yeah.
But also, I have to admit, I'm dorking out a bit because with rich food and great drink, I technically am binging with Babish, and that makes me like super psyched.
Fucking hey, dude. Cheers.
Cheers.
Dude, thank you so much.
You guys are awesome. No joke.
We hope it makes your day a little easier during these troubled times.
Hell yeah.
I think I relate the most with Adam. So I'm like, he's so freaking fun. He's so freaking fun. Like, he's like, you know, he could eat like a freaking ghost pepper. He's like about to die. He still make it like seem really, really fun and interesting and just like, dude.
Good guy, man.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God.
Those aren't even the big ones.
This is not the king crab yet. This is the lobster.
Oh, is that all? Is that all? It's the king crab, not the lobster. I'll just be swallowing a rope and flossing my body.
Ichinokura. That's the sake that's pairing with this.
Ichinokura.
Yeah.
It's actually 65%.
Super pure.
It's super dry.
We got the Pinot Gris with the wine.
And it's the Cienega Valley. Okay.
So with the lobster, this is, by the way, this is the most beautiful thing I've seen in a while. One thing I do know about cheese over lobster is you got to eat it fast before it cools down.
Okay.
So grab a.
I don't mind using
Yeah.
my booger hooks.
Grab
I'll just
it.
use my booger hooks.
Woo!
There we go. Real ones.
Oh, this, you can smell the char. That's
Oh,
great.
I love that smell.
Right?
I've only had like
Best
tteokbokki and
practices
cheese.
here?
I've never had.
Oh, you guys gonna love this. This is my favorite way to eat lobster.
Oh, it's the onions. Look at that. Are you kidding me right now?
Oh man.
Caramelized onions.
Let me get some of this cheese here.
It's like a lobster French dip.
My
I
favorite
mean,
thing
it kind of
today.
makes sense, you know, lobster mac and cheese. You know,
Yo, if this is wrong,
Oh my God.
I don't want it to be right.
Oh my God.
Right?
Wow. This is like, did you get in there? This is like the tastiest Nike swoosh you'll ever eat. This is crazy. This is madness. This isn't even Sparta. This is just madness.
The onion is
Yeah.
the perfect complement
Mental.
to this. With that slight vinegary flavor. You don't. It's not too much. It
And
makes
you
it
also
not
do-
too. I love the veggies here. I mean, this is like a new component, like to a cheesy lobster. This brings the extra texture, and it brings that extra acidity.
Very, very good together.
oh, so cheesy.
Oh,
Such a cheesy bite.
I didn't expect it. Oh, like the vapors.
Whoa. Yeah. Oh man, it hits you like horseradish in the back of the nose there.
Is that a good thing? Are you guys?
Yeah.
It's almost like astringent, which is kind of what you need because you're dealing with so much richness.
Yeah.
Not to get my knee pads out and praise Babish again here, but I have to say, one of the things that I've always loved that he's done that I feel we're seeing made manifest is, you know, the same ingredient in two different kitchens. The one where you see technique but I think that the chef really also, I mean, when I was like, look at the onions, that they're not over caramelized, they're not caramelized to the point of char. Because texturally, if there were any crunch, it would interfere with that velvety sort of velouté thingy that you have.
I love the warmth of the sake. I like that it's warmed to the temperature of the lobster.
And I think it's great. And to see sake paired with something other than sushi is deeply refreshing for me personally.
I mean, this plays really nicely with garlic and the onions, and just the general richness of the dish. It kind of shuts it down. And like you said, there's almost a what was the word you used?
Vapors?
There's astringent. That's what you called it. There's almost an astringent quality.
Sake, we have Tokubetsu Komoto. And for the wine, we have Spatlese.
Spatlese,
Spatlese.
yeah, just late pick. And it's a Riesling.
Yes.
What is that?
Thank you.
That's
Oh.
our king crab. Bow down to your majesty.
Was that the big guy?
That's it.
All right.
That's the crab royalty right here.
I just want
Oh, sorry.
potato roll. I want to break it all up.
Oh, it's spicy king. Look at that.
No.
Spicy.
Who's ready to sweat?
Garlic.
Let's do it.
I want to dip my face in that.
Do it.
Want some, what are they called,
That's the
manto?
thumbnail.
Manto, yeah, we should get some manto for
So
sure. I've never seen king crab like with so much chili flakes on it before.
Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful.
It's okay.
Get
Let's
it,
go.
Chef.
Get
Go in there.
What's up this tong life
I want to
here?
get some of the sauce.
Ah, forget it.
Hot.
Please don't turn that into a gift. Oh, wow.
Yeah?
I just like literally, I completely will admit I sucked this sauce off the outside of the shell.
I'm not even.
Let me try that.
Yeah, that's superb. And you can tell it's pepperoncino.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, the heat just hit me right in the back of my throat.
King crab
Yeah,
when it's
should be,
fresh.
right?
I've never had with so much chilies on it before. This is the
Regular
sweetest.
Spicy seafood has to be like of all like variations of spicy whatever's, it's my favorite. Get a
Absolutely.
close up of this. I know you're gonna want one. Trust. Look how beautiful this is. How it almost flakes apart like a soul, like fluke. It's beautiful.
And which one am I starting with here?
That's gorgeous.
Start up with the sake. It works really nice, especially with the heat.
The heat. I was about to say, like, if you need that respite from the heat, it almost again like cleans it,
Cools you off.
cools you off. Yeah, very excited.
And we talked about the sake being a respite, but not squashing the flavors, and just works with it. The wine not only squashes the flavors, it actually makes the heat worse. I feel like I just got spicier in the back of my throat.
The acid, it kind of brings up everything. It's like, what's that line that Ralphie Wiggum says? It tastes like burning. Sake, I think everybody knows to be paired with like sushi. It's almost exclusively what I drink it with, or maybe you go to izakaya. I never thought it could pair so well with things with cheese, with caramelized onions and stuff. And I found dimensions of foods that I already thought I knew, or of spirit that I already thought I knew. I found like ways that brought up the umami, ways that it cut through richness, ways that it brought up like a brininess or freshness in seafood. So for me, I think that everything that I've had in Zusek has been really quite incredible.
It has a way of refreshing your palate without eliminating it, without cleansing it. Like, you don't necessarily want that when you're eating a dish. You want something, you want wine that's going to interact with your food. And this is something that allows you to sort of reset without losing track of what you're doing.
And I think between the kitchen's execution of the dishes being so strong, coupled with the choices of the sake being so well paired, that I think the notion of anything with mozzarella and sake ever going together seems incredibly crazy, and yet I did it, and it's great.
A couple questions real quick. So, Andrew, wait, how do you look at a TV show and just be like, I'm just gonna cook whatever you're cooking? How does that work?
I mean, the most important thing that I can do is pay service to the fans.
Yeah.
They want to see as close to a realistic recreation of what they saw on screen as possible. Even if it's disgusting, even if it's wrong, whatever. Make that first and see if it's good. Like, this is an opportunity for people to live vicariously as their favorite
Have you ever
characters.
made anything that's like, oh, it's actually good? Like on the TV, like, no, it's good.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I made salted sea salt ice cream from Kingdom Hearts, which, if ice cream is just sea salt ice cream, that means it's just milk ice cream, which to me meant gelato a fior di latte, which is just an Italian milk ice cream, essentially, and just getting really good milk and treating it really gently and churning it really gently, and then making these really creamy popsicles, essentially. I was like, wow, that tastes really good.
Wow. So what did you do to make it better?
I didn't.
That was it. It was like, it was good. The show had it spot on.
I mean, and the contrast of that is like when on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Charlie orders milk steaks with
fried hard, with jelly beans.
Yes. Actually, I'm sorry, boiled over hard.
Boiled hard.
Which to me meant boiled in milk.
Yeah.
With raw jelly beans. And I made that, as you might imagine, wasn't very good.
Right. This has been really fun sharing a meal with you guys, because you were both literally, like, if I was to pick, you were my two top people. When I knew I was coming to eat a seafood feast, and I had to invite a couple of friends to come in, because I don't drink, because this is a wine and sake pairing. I was like, these are the two I wanna come with me.
Thank
you guys, literally. You I've known for a while. Literally, you're the nicest TV dude.
Thank you, bro.
You know, I don't know that many TV guys, but
I've known him for 15 minutes, and he's the nicest TV
guy.
I've ever met in my entire
It means a
life.
great deal, especially coming from two people I admire.
yeah,
as
he
much as
actually,
you guys.
this guy actually.
I watched both of them before I met them.
He's like, boom, like, I want to. Adam Richman's
Talent is
texting me.
talent, and I legitimately had been a fan of both of yours prior to meeting both of you. So that's
yeah.
not hyperbole, and it's not manufactured for camera.
No,
right?
no, it's not. And Andrew, I admire what you do. Like you just like, I can't believe you can just look at something. And I know there's a process, but you create things by just your pure imagination.
I appreciate that, man, but I admire you as well. You're a freaking powerhouse.
No, dude, no.
Like-
you guys, like, let's just say, like, everyone.
Chinese promise of Fujian is what he was saying. You're a Fujian powerhouse.
Powerhouse. Thank you.
I got you back.
But let me know what's coming up with you guys. What do you guys got going on?
I have a couple digital series coming out. My very first YouTube stuff ever.
Nice.
The first one is going to be biscuit reviews from an American you didn't even ask for.
I saw a little bit of that.
Yes, indeed. And I just did a mini-series that is still in rotation on History Channel called The Food That Built America. And I have 2 new shows that are coming up. I can't really get into what networks they'll be on, but one is about the food at soccer stadia all over the world.
Soccer stadiums.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm a big soccer geek.
Yeah,
I wear a Tottenham Hotspur. My preferred club, I wear a Tottenham Hotspur cockerel over my right next to my Jewish star. So I'll be doing that, and hopefully a 3rd book by the end of the next year.
Nice. Andrew, what do you got going on?
Well, I have my new cookbook coming out. It's hitting shelves October 22nd. It is the Binging with Babish Companion Cookbook. It's the first 100 recipes from the show, and I'm going on a nationwide tour. You can go to my website, bingingwithbabish.com/cookbook, to see both the book and the events where you can buy tickets.
If you make roasted potatoes any way other than his way, you are not making good roasted potatoes. Just FYI.
From the legend himself.
I'm just saying the best one ever
The
had.
best day of my life.
And Andrew and I do have a common love of. He loves Seattle too.
I love Seattle, even though I've never been there.
He's never been there. He loves it.
And I have also over here a Seattle tattoo.
He has commitment right there.
That's the Seattle skyline.
Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll put all the information to everything they just said in my description box below, guys. It was such a pleasure having you. Like, such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us, man.
Thank you. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Until we meet again.
Cheers. Thank you.
See ya.
Like, subscribe, comment.